You are Locked On Marlins POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh, man, what is up, Fish fans? Welcome to your Locked On Marlins POSTCAST on your Sunday. The four-game series in Philadelphia is over. Bitter disappointment in the end for the Marlins, who lose the finale 7-6, split 2-2 with the Phillies. But it's the way this game ended and the way they lost that just sits with you, and you don't like it. But I'll tell you what, a very entertaining game and a very entertaining series. A lot of fun watching this team battle the best team, maybe in baseball, but for sure in the National League. Even without Harper and Schwarber, they're near the top. But, man, they would more than make up for their loss a little bit later in the game. All right, I'm Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. First off, I want to remind you, as I do every day, like we always do at this time, to thank you for making Locked On Marlins POSTCAST your first listen, literally first one today, right? And every day. We're free. We're available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Got a flyaway eyelash there. You guys, oh, that's terrible when you get that. So there you go. In today's game, see, there we go. Today's show, Locked On Marlins POSTCAST, get a little bold saying today's game is brought to you by Tax Network USA. That's right. Did you know that it's never too late to resolve your tax issues? Never. With the IRS. But you have to resolve them. You know they're not going to stop coming after you. Don't wait. Reduce your tax debt. Get help from a team of licensed tax professionals. Call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. Where do I start? Where do I start in this game? I mean, one of the best offensive games of the season for the Miami Marlins. They scored 6 runs. They had a 6-2 lead, a 4-run lead in the 7th inning of this game. It was Tim Anderson's error that opened the floodgates and allowed the Phillies, and they still got a couple of big 2-out hits. More on that in a minute, but this was a tough one, man. They roughed up Ranger Suarez, the Phillies ace. He's the best pitcher on their team, best pitcher in the National League this year, 10-2 with a 2.01. Until today, they scored 6 earned runs off Ranger Suarez. The Phillies committed a season-high 5 errors. They hadn't had 5 errors in a game since 2005. So the Marlins score 6 runs. The Phillies commit 5 errors. Ranger Suarez gets tagged for 6 earned runs on 9 hits. Bryce Harper's out, Kyle Schwarber's out, Realmuto's out. The Marlins have all the momentum. It's 6-2 at the time. And they just can't finish the job. The Phillies bullpen shut the Marlins down late, and the Marlins bullpen just could not keep the Phillies from scoring late in this game. I mean, it was unreal to see what they did in the last couple of innings. The Phillies offense, 4 runs in the 7th and 8th innings combined. 5 runs, in the 7th and 8th innings combined. Let me see how to change that in the description here. All right, there we go. So 5 runs in the 7th and 8th innings combined. I'll take you through that in just a minute. But, man, the birthday boy with a big day for Philly. Trea Turner, 31 years old today. 2-run single, put the Phillies ahead in the bottom of the 8th inning and capped off a 5-run comeback, gave the Phillies the lead that they would never relinquish in this game. They never gave that up. And their bullpen was really good, yet again. Really good yet again. And that was a shame. It was really a shame because the Marlins should have won this game. Excuse me, guys, 1 second. Just trying to make sure everything's running right here. There we go. Okay, it was 6th and 7th innings, for the Phils. 5 runs combined in the 6th and 7th innings. 5th, 6th, and 7th innings. They scored a lot of runs late. They had been in this series really hitting poorly with runners in scoring position, and they had 30-plus runners left on base in the series. At one point in time, they were 4 for 32 with runners in scoring position. They would end 6 for 34 as Turner and Marlin killer Nick Castellanos, his 2-out, 2-run single in the 6th inning, got them when they counted the most. And you give the Phillies credit, right? They're an outstanding team. You guys know. I mean, they're literally an outstanding team. And you're not going to, you play these guys enough times, the percentages aren't going to go in your favor. But with Harper out and with Schwarber out, you're just kind of hoping, that you can win a couple of games off them, which you did. By the way, a split on the road in Philadelphia against the best team in the National League. Ain't nothing wrong with that. coming off the win in Kansas City. Nothing wrong with the split on the road against the Phillies, by the way. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like there is, because you guys know there just isn't anything wrong with the split on the road against the Phillies. And we got some company in the chat room. Let's see what y'all have to say right about, it's Baseball Fan 31, my favorite. Yeah, it did suck, and you said he had to go. But thanks for stopping by, Baseball Fan 31, day-by-dayer, man. I love my day-by-dayers here on the show. The audience is looking good, but a tough one for Miami, man. Without Harper, without Schwarber, the Phillies were abysmal in this series offensively until they weren't very late in this game. Their starters, Zach Wheeler was not great. Suarez, worst outing of the season. Nola, the Marlins beat him yesterday. The one guy who really got them was Sanchez on Friday. But a nice showing by the Marlins over the weekend, and it does really suck that you get. Look, you scored 4 runs in the fifth, in this the third, fourth, and fifth innings. The Marlins scored 5. Fifth, sixth, and seventh, the Phillies did. And that was some fun baseball, some exciting baseball. A lot of errors in this game, though, but it really is crazy, man. But they did not lose 3 out of 4 at home to the Marlins, and that would have been interesting to see Miami go up 5-3, but the season series is 4-4 with the Phils, and you got momentum again if you're Miami. Coming home to play the red-hot, albeit red-hot, Red Sox, and then right after that, I believe, isn't it the White Sox? Isn't it all Sox coming through? Yeah, it's Red Sox, White Sox, then it's on to Houston and Cincy by the 14th. Where are they on the 4th? They're off tomorrow, That will be on Monday against Boston. So that'll be, when's the first game? Tuesday. That's Tuesday against Boston, actually, first game in the Red Sox series, and that'll be Valente, Beozo, and Cutter Crawford. Good name for a pitcher, Cutter Crawford, except he's 1-7 on the year. So the Marlins found a way to lose this one, guys. There's no other way to say it. DLC, 2 hits, team-leading 15th homer for Miami. Emmanuel Rivera, 2 for 2, double 2 ribs, 2 walks, 2 runs scored. Dane Myers doubled twice, an RBI double. Josh Bell, double and a single, an RBI for Miami. They had 6 extra base hits today, a season high. And, man, I'll tell you what, it really is a shame to see the way that they lost this game. I'm fixing my things that I had. You write it as you go, you know what I mean? It's like a running log, and you correct it, and you add to it as the game goes along. So I'm just finishing up that there for you guys right here on your Marlins postcast. And it's a tough one today for Miami as they drop the finale 7-6 and just couldn't get it done offensively over the last few innings. And, you know, Miami starter Yanni Chirinos got tagged today. 9 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, 4 1/3 innings. The bullpen took over, really looking good for a while. We'll go through the box in a minute, but just not to be for Miami. And again, they welcome in the Red Sox on Tuesday, but just a tough loss for the Marlins here today. And like I said, we're going to get to all this in just a minute. Real quick for you, just want to give you a little bit of info because we're about to hit the first break. I love having you guys here. Hope you're having an awesome weekend, by the way. BT Dubs, where are we at here? Okay, the recap's up. We'll have that for you a little bit later. I'm just looking for the time of game here. What time is it? Game time. Shorthanded Phils. Yeah, the time of game is not up, and all that stuff is not up yet. But we will have it here momentarily. Let's see. New tab. And where are we at here? All right. Okay, so 7-6 the final. They're literally 4-4 on the year against them. They split the series 2-2, and it really is a shame the way they lost this game. To give up those 2-out hits late, 2-run hits, each of them, and then to give up 5 runs in the last 3 innings like that, or not the last 3 innings. They held them scoreless in the 8th, but you know what I mean. To give up that lead, you're up 6-2. You're having one of your best offensive games of the season. Phillies mounting down. They're not hitting anything. And I'll take you through the innings, but it was a crucial error on Tim Anderson, who fumbled the ball, fumbled the ball, trying to make the flip to second base on an inning-ending double play in the 6th inning that would have not allowed the Phillies to score in that inning, and that would have been that. It would have been that, but, you know, it's easy to say and easy to blame TA for that. Obviously, it's really easy to do, and it is his fault, and you're a big leaguer. You shouldn't be making plays like that. But at the end of the day, You know, it was a good game for Miami all the way across the board. We'll hit the box. We'll hit the runs and how they happen. Later on, we'll hit the recap. Look at that over there, the rundown. I mean, Phillies are up late, beat Fish 7-6. Ranger danger. Suarez got rocked today. A season-high 6 earned runs against the Phillies ace. He even committed one of Phillies' 5 errors on the game. They roughed up Ranger Suarez so bad he didn't strike anybody out. The Marlins never walk. They always swing at the first pitch. They're fun to watch, man, really fun to watch. And then you go, happy Trea Day, 31st birthday for Trea Turner. 3 hits, bunch of RBIs, go ahead, 2-run single in the 7th inning to make it 7-6 for the Phillies. Series split 2-2, Marlins 4-4 against the Phillies this year. We're up against our first break. You're watching your Locked On Marlins postcast. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. Of course, we are here every day wherever you get your podcast and on your Locked On Sports Miami YouTube, part of the Locked On Sportscast Network. Also the Locked On Podcast Network. But I like the Locked On Sportscast Network too. The Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And I am just really, really happy to be here with you today. Today's show is brought to you by Tax Network USA. Did you know that it's never too late to resolve your tax issues with the IRS? Don't wait. Reduce your tax debt and get help from a team of licensed tax professionals. Call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. Take a break, come back, go through the box, go through the rundown. It's your Locked On Marlins postcast. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. Let's pay some bills. And as you can tell, my voice is a little shot. It's been a long weekend. Had a 3-hour show on ESPN Radio yesterday. Shout out to my man Jonathan Zaslow. If you're a Miami guy or girl, you know Zaz all those years down there. And then, of course, the show's here with you. Big fights last night, screaming my head off, watching the UFC. And there is no better way to make it more interesting, whether it's baseball, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whether it's hockey, Panthers Stanley Cup champs, even the UFC, huge fights last night. It's Prize Picks, baby, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members, including UFC bantamweight champion Sugar Sean O'Malley and Philadelphia rapper Meek Mill. You know about Meek Mill. Prize Picks, I know a lot about Prize Picks, is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do, pick more, pick less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks. With as little as 4 correct picks, you can turn $10 into $1,000. If you're looking for promotions, look no further than Prize Picks. They have you covered every week, from lowering select player stat projections on Tuesdays to help your lineup hit, or getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. There's always a promotion at Prize Picks. They have you covered. They're available in more than 30 states across the country, California, Texas, Georgia, among them. And that is absolutely one of the greatest things about Prize Picks, is that every single day, no matter where you are, you can make it more fun. You can make it more interesting by downloading the Prize Picks app today, using the code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. And we just told you about Tax Network USA, today's proud sponsor of our show here on Locked On Marlins Postcast. I pride myself, we pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team, whether it's the offseason, whether it's the draft, spring training, the playoffs, you name it, we got it. It's year-round. You know what else is year-round? Collection season. And just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. We've all been there. I've had some times in my life where I was late on my taxes. Tax Network USA is always there. I almost said Tax Network UFC. Tax Network USA is here for you. With over 14 years experience and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay, baby, you need help correctly filing, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. And also make sure, Locked On Marlins Postcast, you mentioned that at the checkout, you get $250. That's the discount. Locked On Marlins Postcast, $250 discount with tnusa.com/lockedon, 1-800-549-1000 for Tax Network USA. Living in America. Pay your taxes, baby. Pay them. Pay them, pay them. Gotta pay those taxes. Oh, yeah, here we go, rolling right along. I have a question for you as we continue on your Sunday, you know what I mean, about to hit July, soon to be the dog days of summer, especially if you're at a place like Miami or Arizona for that matter, anywhere in the southern U.S. But no matter where you are, if you're going to be stuck inside all day in the summer, no matter what, no matter where, you can always get down with us, with Locked On Sports Today. Get all your sports news, everything you want from your team every day. That's right, the Locked On Podcast Network. It's called Locked On Sports Today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Moving right along on your Sunday, man. 7-6, the Marlins lose to the Phillies. I'm Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. Big day for the Marlins offensively, but it would not be enough. Normally, we'll take you through the whole game on the summary, but not today. I will tell you this, that the Marlins were able to get to Ranger Suarez early, and it made a very big difference in this game. There's absolutely no doubt about that. They got to him early, and it made a big difference in this game. Ranger Suarez came in 10-2, 2.01 ERA. He did not leave with a 2.01 ERA. That is really clear after this one. Dominguez got the win. Nardi got the loss. Hoffman got the save. We'll do the box in a minute. How about Josh Bell's double in the first? Ripped it down the line to score. Brian De La Cruz and Suarez only hitting 90 on the four-seamer and the sinker to start the game. And the cutter about 85, the curve about 72. No wonder he didn't have any strikeouts in this one. So Bell double slept. De La Cruz scores in the first inning. Big day for DLC, baby. Bell as well. Bottom of the first, Phillies take the lead. Alec Bohm, 10th homer of the year, drove in runs number 65 and 66, leading the National League. Trea Turner, who had singled, scored ahead of him. Turner with a big day today for the Phils. Still 2-1 in the top of the third when DLC came up against Suarez, crushes a home run opposite field, and it is 2-2 at the end of 3. Yonny Chirino still on the hill for Miami, and he got some real support in the top of the fourth inning. Ranger Suarez just did not have it today. Berger grounds out to short, but after that, Dane Myers, one of his 2 doubles on the day, doubles to right. Anderson lines out to center, but with 2 outs. In the area, in the realm where the Marlins have scored so mightily this season, what do? They get busy. Rivera, big day for Emmanuel Rivera, doubles to right. Myers scores on the error. He didn't get an RBI for Rivera. Rivera safe at third base. It was a fielding error by Castellanos, the right fielder, who had a big day offensively as well. After Sanchez walked the number 9 hitter, Chisholm Jr. singles to center. Rivera scores. It's 4-2 Fish. But with Sanchez on third, Lopez reaching first on catcher's interference with first and second 2 outs. DLC grounds to the fielder's choice. End of the inning. So, you know what I mean? They had a real jam for Suarez in the fourth that he pitched out of. Meanwhile, Chirino's best inning of the day in the fourth for him. Line out, strikeout, fly out. Only time all day they got Trea Turner on the as the second hitter of the inning. Marlins top of 5. Hey, Ranger Suarez still in the game. Josh Bell, infield single to first base. An error. He goes to second on an error by the throw from Bohm, the third baseman. Berger flies out to center. Milers with a double to center field scores Bell. Anderson grounds out. Myers goes to third. Rivera singles to left, and Myers scored. Would have been the second RBI of the day for Manuel, but he had one taken away earlier because they deemed that the run scored on an error. Bottom of the fifth, it's 6-2 Miami. You feel like the game is really starting to look like it's in hand. Phillies couldn't hit anything. Runners in scoring position. They're leaving everybody in the world on base. They left the bases loaded in the first. So you look at it one of 2 ways. They're just not getting the big hit, and the numbers are not there. They were 4 for 32 in the series up to this point with runners in scoring position. And remember, no Harper, no Schwarber, no Realmuto, right? So they were relying on their pitching, which didn't work out so well because Wheeler and Nola and now Suarez got ripped. And the Marlins still somehow just ended up with a split. And you're happy because it's the Phillies and they're a great team, but you're not happy because they should have won this game. More on that in a minute. And Schumacher has his share of the blame, I believe, and I'll tell you why in just a second, okay? And I might be full of it, but we'll see. And that's why I love doing these shows, because that's what it's all about, right? Bringing you what I think you need to hear about these games, and that's what we do. So bottom of the fifth, Castellanos doubles to left, Marsh scores with nobody out. And then Brazoban comes in, retires the side. Top of the sixth for the Marlins, 1, 2, 3, Lopez, DLC, and Bell. Lopez grounds out. De La Cruz strikes out looking. Bell swinging. And I believe, yes, Ruiz came in for Suarez in the top of the fifth after Rivera singled in Myers. And so that was that for him. And we'll give you his numbers in the next segment. Marlins top of the sixth, I told you nothing doing. Philly bottom of the sixth, Castellanos, a killer 2-out, 2-run single. But here's what happened. Marchand walks, Stott singles to center, Marchand to second. It's against Brazoban. First and second, nobody out. Turner strikes out swinging. He's the guy they couldn't get out all day. They got him here. Trea Turner, they struck him out swinging. Bohm grounds into a fielder's choice to shortstop. Okay, here's what happens. This was not a fielder's choice. This was an easy, tailor-made, easy hop and everything, inning-ending double play for Tim Anderson, who muffs the ball, and everybody's safe. And then right after that, Marsh strikes out swinging. But again, the double play would have been the second and third out. You can never assume the double play in the scoring, but I can assume the double play there. Easy double play ball for TA. After Sosa strikes out swinging, it was too late because Castellanos singled in Marchand and Stott. Never should have happened. They should have left that inning. They should have left that inning with a 6-3 lead. There only should have been one run that scored that inning. Actually, no runs should have scored that inning because it was already 6-3. Yeah, the run scored in the fifth. Nobody should have scored in the sixth. Big goat horns for Tim Anderson on that play. Sorry to do that to you, TA, but that was tailor-made. It was easy. You got to get out of that inning with the 6-3 lead. Marlins top of seven get a leadoff double, sliced oppo by Jake Berger. Myers grounds out to third. Anderson grounds out to third. Two really hard-hit balls off Dominguez. Just bad luck. They were right at the third baseman, Bohm. Rivera walks, 2 guys on, 2 outs, and Sanchez strikes out swinging. Top of the seventh inning. What are you doing, Skip? What are you doing? Fortes had a big hit yesterday. He's your other catcher. You could pinch hit him. But even then, Dominguez is on the mound. Where? Man, oh man, oh man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was really tough for me to watch in this position because you had Fortes available, and I didn't see any injury on him. And if I find it after, I owe you a big apology, Skip, but not there. And when Dominguez is on the mound, he got the win in this game, by the way. And with 2 outs in this inning, you had a chance with him on the hill and him on the ropes. He's a right-handed pitcher. Nick Gordon's on the bench. He had a huge day yesterday. Where's Gordon? Where's Fortes? Why on God's green earth are we subjected in that moment? Why are we subjected in that moment? You want to give there's only one reason, and I know what it is, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. I'm asking a rhetorical question. Why on God's green earth are we subjected to Ali Sanchez hitting in that spot with the game on the line? And I know you had the lead, but the Phillies are the best team. You got to pinch hit Gordon there. You got to. You have to. You have to. If he's not injured, you have to. Gordon out, Fortes, either one of those guys. I know why he didn't do it, because Sanchez is catching, comfortable with the pitcher who's pitching at that moment. You're not going to go and mess with that too much because, you know, you got Nardi out there. And by the way, Nardi screwed it up big time. I mean, he's got 5 blown saves, now 6 now. I mean, he walks 2 guys on 4 pitches each to start the 7th inning. Or the 6th inning. 6th inning, excuse me. 2 guys on 4 pitches each to start that inning. And that's the inning they scored 2 runs. And then the big 2-out hit. But that was all Nardi and Anderson with the error. So the 2 walks to start the inning and the error. But where was Gordon? Where was Fortes in the top of the 7th inning? You still had the lead. You had a chance with 2 outs to get a big hit there. Have to bring in Gordon in that spot. You have to. You have to bring in Gordon in that spot. He actually almost had a 3-hour game today. Can you believe that? In Major League Baseball. All right, we're going to hit the box score when we come back. And that was literally the end of the game. The Marlins were unable to get anything in the 7th inning. The Phillies in the bottom of the 7th score 2 more to take the lead. A 2-out single for Trea Turner. Merrifield and Dahl score. Well, that was the inning, actually, where Nardi had the 2 walks in a row. It was the 7th, not the 6th, excuse me. In the 6th inning, it was Marchand with a walk. He walked the leadoff man in the 6th and the 7th. Disaster ensues. It was Castellanos with the 2-run single. Then it was Turner with a 2-run single. And then it was Hoffman coming in for Philly. And that was about it. They got an error from Turner on a ball hit by Berger. He was safe at first in the 9th, but Sanchez flies out. And Anderson, of course, Tim Anderson, he of the error that opened the floodgates, strikes out to end the game. You're watching your Locked On Marlins postcast, listening to me as well, wherever you get your podcast every day. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, going to wrap it up on the other side and take a look ahead. We still have the box to hit, the recap. Look ahead to the Sox, the Red Sox, coming up on Tuesday. Ho, ho, baby. You know I love this time of day. Why? Oh, it's been a big weekend in sports, and I love sports. I love them so much, I never want them to stop. The UFC, boxing, big events last night. Baseball getting hot. Phillies, Dodgers, Yankees. Oh, man. But as the playoffs are done in NBA and the NHL, shout out to the Panthers, Stanley Cup champions yet again. But we get fewer games, and the sports aren't sportsing like I want them to, like you want them to. But fear not, because FanDuel lets us keep the sports going whenever we want. All we have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime we're in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right, there's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head on over to FanDuel.com/lockedon and start making the most of your summer right now. At FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. And, of course, today's episode of the Locked On Marlins postcast is brought to you by Tax Network USA. Did you know that it's never too late to resolve your tax issues with the IRS? Don't wait. Reduce your debt. Get help from a team of licensed tax professionals. Call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon for Tax Network USA. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, wrapping it up on your Locked On Marlins postcast on your Sunday. Big win for the MIAOs today. For the Phillies, 7-6. Big win for the Phillies today, 7-6 over the Marlins. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, your Locked On Marlins postcast. My eyes are all over the place, guys. I apologize. It's been a little bugged out of a day, but we're having a lot of fun here for you. Want to thank the day-by-dayers. Remind you that we are here every day after every Marlins game. In summation, we're going to have to get out of here quickly in a minute, but I want to do the box score real quick, and I want to do the recap, see if we missed anything, and then we will get on out. Jazz Chisholm, 1 for 5 with an RBI in the leadoff spot for the Marlins. Otto Lopez, one of only 2 Marlins, guess who the other one was, to not have a hit today, and he also had a crucial error. More on that in a minute. Brian De La Cruz, 2 for 5, 2 runs scored and an RBI. Had that home run, of course. Josh Bell, 2 for 5, drove in the first run of the day for Miami with a double. Scored a run as well. Jake Berger, 1 for 5. Dane Myers, 2 for 4. Both doubles with 2 runs scored and an RBI. Sanchez, 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. Tim Anderson, 0 for 5, and the error that, for all intents and purposes, cost this team the game. Not to mention striking out with 2 outs in the 9th inning. It rains, it pours. Love you, TA. Just a bad day for you, brother. Nothing personal. Rivera, 2 for 2 with 2 walks, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. The third baseman in the 8-hole having a game. Anibal Sanchez. Did I just say that? Did I really just say that? Ali Sanchez, 1 for 3 with a walk in this game. The Marlins had 6 extra base hits, and it's just heartbreaking. Meanwhile, for the Fish on the bump, Chirinos, 4 1/3, 9 hits, 3 runs, 4 strikeouts, 87 pitches. Brazoban, an inning and a hit, 3 strikeouts. Puck, 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. He got a hold. Nardi, the loss, 2/3 of an inning, 2 earned runs, 2 walks to start the 7th inning on 4 pitches each. He's 20 years old. He'll learn. Bender, an inning and a third, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, somehow managed to not give up a run. The Phils, Stott 1 for 5 with a run scored in the leadoff spot. Trea Turner on his 31st birthday, 3 for 5, 2 ribbies and a run scored. 2 for 5 for Alec Boehm. 2 for 5 for him, including a home run and 2 RBIs, league leading 65th and 66th on the season. Also a run scored. Marsh, the center fielder, 2 for 4 with a run scored and a walk. Castellanos, the Marlin killer, 4 for 5, 3 RBIs for Nick. Clemens 1 for 3, Sosa 0 for 2, Merrifield 0 for 3 with a run, Dahl 1 for 4 with a run scored, 0 for 2 for Marchand. He scored a run as well. Ranger Suarez, worst outing of the season, 4 2/3 innings for the Phillies ace, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, a season high, no strikeouts. Ruiz, the bullpen won it for the Phillies today. They were scoreless in this game. You're talking about 4 1/3 scoreless innings from the Phillies bullpen. The battle of the bullpens. Whoever won that in the series won the games. 2-2 split. Not bad for Miami's pen against the Phillies, who have a great bullpen, and more on the Phillies bullpen in a minute. But Ruiz, an inning and a third, just allowed a hit, 2 strikeouts. Dominguez got the win. Should have been facing Gordon or Fortes with 2 out instead of Ali Sanchez, but we'll see what happens there. We'll see what Skip says about that. In an inning, he gave up only 1 hit, struck out 1. Soto, an inning, 2 strikeouts, nothing else. Same thing for Hoffman. Picks up his 6th save, the 5th hold for Soto, by the way. An inning for Hoffman, no runs, no hits, and a strikeout on just 10 pitches. The time of game, 2 hours, 59 minutes, and the attendance, a little over 43,000. Philadelphia was a minus 275 favorite. The over-under was 8.5. So Phillies in the over made you a winner if you were smart enough to not listen to me and do that today. I'm going to do the game recap real quick, and before we get on out of here, we'll set that first game of the Red Sox series for you. White Sox coming in after that. Alec Boehm homered. Trea Turner hit a go-ahead 2-run single in the 7th inning, and the Philadelphia Phillies rallied for a 7-6 victory over the Miami Marlins on Sunday. Nick Castellanos doubled, had 2 singles, and drove in 3 runs for the Phillies, who upped their MLB best record to 55-29. Philadelphia played its 3rd straight game without injured All-Star Bryce Harper. Also, Kyle Schwarber, their borderline all-star slugging outfielder as well. Good hitter in Kyle Schwarber. That's my information, not theirs. Brian De La Cruz homered for Miami, team leading 15th. Also mine, not theirs. Trails the Phillies by 25 games in the NL East. Philly went out in front in the 7th. Andrew Nardi walked the first 2 batters. They advanced on a sacrifice bunt. Nice one from Rafael Marchand. Nardi got Bryce and Stott to foul out for the 2nd out, and then was relieved by Anthony Bender. Turner then sent the Phillies in front with a liner into left field that emptied the bases. Sir Anthony Dominguez tossed a scoreless 7th. Jeff Hoffman finished it for his 6th save. The Phillies won despite making 5, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 errors in this. Oh, my God. The Marlins pounded out 11 hits, very close to a season high, including 6 for extra bases. They led 6-2 after Dane Meyer's RBI double and Emmanuel Rivera's RBI single. In the top of the 5th inning, the Phillies overcame Suarez's worst outing of the season. The lefty entered leading the NL in ERA and tied for the most wins in baseball, but he allowed season highs for earned runs, 6, and hits, 9. We already told you those in just 4 2/3 innings. He failed to strike out a batter for the first time in his career as a starter. Suarez's ERA went from 1.83 to 2.27. I thought it was 2.01. They have conflicting information in different spots. Not surprised. Philadelphia avoided its first series loss at home since early April when it lost 4 of 6 to the Braves and Reds to start the season. Philly hasn't lost any of its 13 home games since dropping 2 of 3 to the Reds from April 1st through 3rd. Harper and slugger Kyle Schwarber watched again after both were injured late in Thursday's game. Both were placed on the 10-day injured list on Friday with a left hamstring strain and a left groin strain, respectively. The Phillies also missing catcher JT Realmuto, who is sidelined after having knee surgery. Philly manager Rob Thompson wasn't panicking in spite of missing 3 key starters. He said, "Don't try to do too much," quote. That's before the game. Quote, "I trust them and they believe in each other. I believe in them." From the trainer's room, the Phillies, Harper, Schwarber, Realmuto continued to rehabilitate on Sunday. Harper and Schwarber could return before the All-Star break, while Realmuto likely won't be back until after the break, Thompson said. Quote, "If they're healthy and we won't be putting them at further risk, they'll play." Quote, "We're not going to rush." Up next, after a day off, Miami begins a 6-game homestand. 3 games against the Red Sox, 3 against the White Sox. Valente Beozo makes his 2nd career start for the Marlins in the opener on Tuesday night against Boston right-hander Cutter Crawford, 3-7 with a 3.59 ERA. For the Phillies, Michael Mercado will make his first start of the season and his career on Tuesday night at the Chicago Cubs to start a 6-game road trip. Right-hander Hayden Wesneski, 2-4 with a 3.6, will go for the Cubs. Harry Carey. Did you guys get that? I hope to God you did. Red Sox, White Sox, then you go on the road for the Stros and the Reds. Miami Marlins unable to get it done today. They dropped this one 7-6 to the Philadelphia Phillies. They finish up the 4-game series 2-2. They finish up with what they've got so far against the Phillies right now at 4-4 on the season. When do they play each other again? Regular season series. It will be an everlasting love. Still 6 more games. 3 more in Philly. On August 13th and 14th, they have a 2-game series in Philly. And then they have a 4-game series in Miami from September 5th through the 8th, when the Phillies will no doubt be trying to hold off the Braves, maybe even the Mets, as hot as they are right now. So not a good day for the Marlins. They allowed 5 runs unanswered in the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings after scoring 5 unanswered in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And they dropped this game 7-6 on a day when they had 6 extra base hits, 11 hits overall, didn't strike out, and the Phillies committed 5 errors. They were 4 for 32 with runners in scoring position until the late rallies. They ended 6 for 34, and they won the game. Look, that's what great teams do. They didn't have Harper, they didn't have Schwarber, Romuto's been out. The Marlins roughed up Wheeler. The Phillies found a way to win. The Marlins roughed up Suarez. The Phillies found a way to win. The Marlins won 2 games in this series, but man, oh man, just not a good one. They lost the first one. They won the first game 7-4 in a game that Wheeler started. He didn't get the loss. They lost the second one 2-0 when Sanchez dominated them. The third game yesterday, 3-2, they won it, and they beat Aaron Nola. And then today they score 6 runs and lose, but Suarez doesn't get the win. That's all there is, Fish fans. There is no more Locked On Marlins postcast on your Sunday, June 30th. Happy July, baby. Big month for the Major League Baseball season. The All-Star break coming up, and we will continue to be here every day with your Locked On Marlins postcast, bringing you the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs of this 2024 season with this gut-wrenching performance in this loss today. But the Marlins, every day entertaining, every day fun, every day they scratch, every day they claw. Red Sox on Tuesday with Beozos on the mound. Until then, I'm Jim Grieshaber. I want to thank you again profusely for being here with us on your Locked On Marlins postcast. We know you have options. Wherever you get your podcast, you can hear us. Also right here on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And one more time, want to remind you that Locked On has launched first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league, almost. Find Locked On Sports Today, now available on the free Fire TV channels app. And with that, I also want to thank Tax Network USA for being the title sponsor of the show, Prize Picks, and also FanDuel for sponsoring today's show. And, of course, want to thank you profusely for being here. We'll see you Tuesday after the Red Sox game. Until then, keep your game tight and your mind right, Fish fans. I'm Jim Grease, at JimGrease_ on social media, and I am out.